Hands on hips, he threw his head back and sucked air. The rising sun failed to bring any warmth to the morning chill. The bay was empty. The onset of autumn had sent sunbathers to cafes and shopping malls. That was fine by Jeff. He liked the sense of remoteness brought on by an uninhabited beach in the heart of the city. "Ready for a swim?" Jeff asked. Mary, her leg extended and resting on a block wall, nodded and bent forward, her nose touching her kneecap. "One more." She changed legs and repeated the exercise, then followed Jeff to the water's edge. "Oh, it looks cold, Jeff." He stripped off his T-shirt and ran into the tide. An involuntary cry escaped from his lips as the cool water sprayed over him. "It's not so bad. Bloody hell, it is cold." "Don't be a coward," she said as she splashed him. "I think this will have to be our last sea swim until next summer," Jeff said. "I hate cold water." The tepid waters of the swimming pool in the city would be the new venue for their twice-weekly water sports. They raced each other out to the yacht moored 200 metres from the shoreline and put in a burst on the return leg. Again, Mary finished well ahead. She was drying herself off with Jeff's T-shirt when he made it onto the beach. She tossed the wet garment at him and ran off. When he caught up with her, she was waiting in the driveway of his Church Street house. He waved to his neighbour, Larry Connors, who was buckling his 2 children into their safety seats. They had never talked, but Jeff knew that Larry was an accomplished yachtsman with a growing international reputation, if media reports were to be believed. He received a smile and a return wave. The young girls, following their father's lead, waved as well. Jeff considered himself a bad neighbour, but he wasn't the baker cake and welcome to the neighbourhood type of guy, and he guessed his neighbour wasn't either. No cake had ever been left on his doorstep. "Are we weight training this morning?" Mary asked. Sorry, I have an appointment with your boss, and then I need to get out to the vineyard. I'll go to the gym tomorrow. You use the shower first. I'll brew some coffee, and after breakfast I'll take you to work." "We could share the shower," Mary teased. "Be careful, or one of these days I'm going to take you up on that offer." "Sure you will. You're all talk, Bradley." After a hot shower, Jeff threw on jeans, a blue polo shirt, and his brown Timberland boots. It took a good half hour to drive from Devonport down the length of the peninsula and onto the harbour bridge crossing, and another 20 minutes before he drove into the parking area next to his lawyer's office. Jeff had engaged Quentin Douglas's services when he assumed ownership of the West Auckland vineyard from his grandparents, and over the years they'd become close friends. "I have news," Quentin said when he saw Jeff enter. He pushed a document across the table. Jeff picked it up. "One of the properties your grandmother left you? The 10 hectares near Hupai? I have a buyer." Jeff looked up. "I thought you advised me to hang on to it," he said. "As your lawyer, I must advise you when circumstances change. This is one of those circumstances. You've been made an offer that I'm not certain you can walk away from. $2.5 million. Jeff blinked. "Yes, I know. I was shocked as well. Someone has more money than sense." "That's way above market value." "Sure is. And it's in cash. When the agent phoned me, I told him you weren't interested in selling. Then he came back, said the buyer wanted the property and price was no object. Apparently, he's a successful merchant banker, more money than he knows what to do with, and he wants a country estate near the city, with a pond, just like the one on your property." Quentin shrugged. "I told the agent a silly price, and the banker accepted. So, what do you say?" Jeff scratched his dark brown hair. Too long. He needed a haircut. "It would mean you'd have enough cash for the divorce settlement and to pay out Rebecca." "Will she accept a deal and not take the vineyard to auction? With cash in your pocket, I can talk to her lawyer, offer a little extra to clinch it. You need to agree to deal on this Hupai property first, though. Even if the vineyard did go to auction, you'd have more than enough to make your own bid. Then you can send your ex-wife on her way and get on with your life." "Funny things happen at auctions, Quentin. The money, Jeff. Do you want it or not?" "I guess I have no choice." "Not quite true. You do have a choice. I'm your lawyer, so I know your circumstances. You have more than enough money in assets and cash to never work again. The vineyard is only a hobby for you. It keeps you from spending your days on a stool in a bar somewhere. You don't even like wine. You're a beer drinker." "My vineyard, boundary fence," Jeff said, "is very important to me, as well you know. I promised my grandmother I would keep it in the family. And remember, it was overgrown with weeds when my grandmother gifted it to me. I've put in the hard graft to get it where it is today. I'm not letting it go, ever." "All right."